Hey everyone, happy Monday. Welcome to my channel. My name is Chris and this is my Zepbound journey. I am on week 11, or I'm ending week 10, starting week 11 on Wednesday of Zepbound. I have lost 42 pounds on Zepbound since the end of February. I've actually lost 50 pounds since Christmas, but I don't count those 9 pounds because I wasn't on Zepbound for my channel's purposes. So that's the lead into Alcohol and Zepbound, which is my husband and I celebrating last Friday night my 50-pound weight loss. So I do have to say I am not a medical doctor. I am not giving medical advice. This is my personal journey. I have been so inspired by watching people on YouTube who have taken GLP-1s and GLP-2s, I guess, or GIPs, that I had an art channel, or I have an art channel that I do primarily, but I really enjoy the topic of weight loss and Wegovy, and I wanted to have a community of people that are going through this journey too and get feedback from them. And so that's when I started this channel. So back to Friday night. I've been, like I said, 11 weeks on Zepbound, 11 shots or 10 shots going into 11. The first week, I can count on one hand the amount of time, the amount of times that I've had alcohol. It's less than 5. Week 1, I started, initially I was doing my shots on Friday morning because I thought that I wanted to have the most quieting of my food noise over the weekend. Then I found that I was a little bit tired on the day or two after the shot, and I didn't want to spend my whole weekend like would take a nap in the afternoon, and I was just dragging a little bit, not terribly. So the first Friday I had 1 glass of wine and some salmon and risotto, and I was fine. Might have been 1.5 glasses. The second Friday we went out and I had a glass of wine and dinner and I was fine. The next time I would drink was a few weeks ago, maybe almost a month, 3 weeks ago. We were at Disney World and we were there for 5 days, and I was like, it's vacation. I would like to have a drink. So I had 1 pina colada by the pool, and then I had 3 glasses of wine at happy hour, with some happy hour food, but I hadn't really eaten all day. And so I did not feel well the next day. I will say that food does empty slower. I mean, that's what it does. It keeps you full longer. And so I didn't feel well the next day. And I didn't like having one of my days at Disney World feeling yucky. I did not throw up, but I knew that night my stomach was upset. I felt like I was going to throw up, and I was like, oh no. And it was just bad. So the next day I was very tired and a little out of sorts, and looking for ginger to soothe my stomach. It was just, ugh. And I love wine. I spent 40 years of my life in Northern California, like wine country. And so for years and years and years, I've had a couple of glasses of wine at night with, before dinner, usually before dinner. And it doesn't have the same appeal now as it used to for me. Now, you can talk to 10,000 people on Zepbound and get 10,000 different opinions. Overall, I read that a lot of people, it doesn't appeal to them anymore. But when I'm like looking through Reddit or reading through people's comments on YouTube, I will see that some are still regular drinkers and they're fine. They'll have a couple glasses of wine at night and it doesn't make them extra tired. That's not been the case for me. It's not been, I will still love sipping the glass of wine, but there's really no reason for it. I have learned, one of the nice things that I feel that I've learned being on this is that I don't need to eat a lot of food at an event to enjoy what I'm doing, to celebrate, and that's been monumental. I can cook, like I made a lemon blueberry yummy whipped cream thing a few weeks ago. And I enjoy the process of cooking, but I don't care if I eat it or not. And that is pretty big for me because I very much love food and love drinking. And it's great to not love doing that. But it also, at the same time, doesn't bother me when other people do it. So that's been phenomenal. Back to last Friday night when my husband's like, let's celebrate. I'm like, oh my gosh, I lost 50 pounds since Christmas. I am so stoked. Walking upstairs is easier. My inflammation feels 1,000,000% better. It's just overall, I'm like, yay. And so he took me out to dinner and we went the same place we went the first week I was on, to the steakhouse we went to the first week I was on Zepbound. And I got the same thing, which is salmon and risotto. And what was different is I did have 3 glasses of wine before I ate and on an empty stomach, because I think I had like a cup of chicken broth for lunch and 2 eggs for breakfast. Rookie mistake number 1, empty stomach. Ate my salmon and then also ate most of my risotto and a couple bites of a biscuit. Now, a biscuit's probably got shortening in it, and it is a higher fat content than I'm used to eating. I eat pretty clean, organic chicken, roasted vegetables. My diet's very clean, chicken broth. I'm very concerned at my age, I'm 58, getting close to 60, about not maintain. I'm not very muscular, but I have worked out pretty consistently, maintaining muscle mass, because after you go through menopause and you get older, you lose muscle mass more rapidly than like my daughter, who has lost 72 pounds on Zepbound. She's always lifting 2 of my 3 grandkids, and gets a lot of lifting and muscle movement that I don't get. And so I'm trying very hard to put protein first and prioritize protein and then vegetables. And so oh boy, I felt bad. I had the 3 glasses of wine, and same as at Disney. At Disney the next day, I didn't feel well. Last Saturday, I didn't feel well. And tirzepatide makes it so that your stomach empties slower. The food stays there longer. I've never had sulfur burps. I hope I never get them. Side effects like that I haven't gotten, and I don't know if it's due to my pretty clean diet. I don't know if I just wouldn't get them. I think that eating clean helps with that. I think that not drinking helps with that, although I didn't get sulfur burps after I drank and felt really bad the next day. I just felt nauseous, and I hate feeling nauseous. One thing that I did when I was at Disney World that helped immensely was I had read, I think I went to Reddit, and they said, I'm a nurse, I'm on Zepbound, and when I get nauseous anytime, whether, it's related to Zepbound or not, I will sniff alcohol, not alcohol like beer, but like rubbing alcohol. So I went to first aid at Hollywood Studios, and I got an alcohol pad from first aid. The man was very nice. He looked at me weird when I said, can I just have an alcohol pad, please? And he said, are you okay? Are you cut? It's Disney. They get sued like 9 million times a day. And I said, I need it for nausea. And he said, well, are you okay? I have other things that you can take. I said, no. I said, it's a medicine. I'm taking Zepbound, and the side effect is nausea. And I just would like an alcohol pad to sniff, not to use for anything. So he gave me a very strange look, and he said, no problem. And I signed the little book, and I got my alcohol pad, and I sniffed it, and I'll tell you what, it did help instantly. So I walked around the park and Star Wars Land sniffing my alcohol pad, and it made the nausea much, much better. So this last weekend, I had the 3 glasses of wine, felt terrible. I think for me, alcohol is something that I could do without when I'm taking Zepbound, and I'm pretty sure that I won't have 3 glasses of wine again on an empty stomach, not even 2. I've gotten to the point where I've ordered some adaptogenic type things that have like hemp in them, not THC, none of that. but things that people buy to mix for cocktails at night. And it's not every night, but it's like 10 calories, this Aplos stuff, and it's the calm one. And I mix it with sugar-free ginger ale or ginger beer, which I really love. And I'll sip on that. And for me, feeling better, not drinking, my inflammation's gone down by just leaps and bounds. And I don't think that the inflammation going down is due to the 50-pound weight loss. I really believe that because it started like the end of the first week where I was like, wow, my shoulders don't hurt. I've had shoulder surgery here. Wow, my hip's not hurting so bad. And now my knee that I have an osteophyte in and arthritis and the whole bit is feeling much better. I'm not limping. I walk at the lake. So part of that is probably due to a big weight loss, but part of it I really believe started early on with the reduction in inflammation. So at any rate, that's been my experience on alcohol, and I'm going on a cruise late in the summer for my mom's 80th birthday. I'm really excited about that. I did not buy the drink package because I don't want to drink that much. I won't drink that much. I have a lot of people that are saying to me, oh, are you just going to go off of Zepbound for the week you're on the cruise or not? I don't understand why you would do that. I mean, I guess maybe people that can't eat anything, like have trouble eating even small amounts of food, but overall, I feel so much better. I don't see why I would set myself back by, I still enjoy food when I eat small quantities of it, and it doesn't make me feel good drinking three wines. I know is a lot for a lot of people. For me, like 2 was normal, so it's not a lot for me. I don't feel good when I do that anymore, and so I'm not going to go off of my Zepbound. I'm going to Lake Tahoe on a painting trip next week, and I'm not going off of it then. I'm sticking on this because I would like to hit a healthy goal weight and I'd like to feel good. And that's it. So that's it for the alcohol. That's been my experience in alcohol and Zepbound. It's not been a huge amount of experience, but the less than 5 times that I have done it, the 4 times. Next thing that's interesting to me. A couple of hours ago, President Trump here in the United States signed an executive order that is supposed to reduce drug prices for Americans to, the understanding that I'm reading is whatever country is paying the lowest price for a particular drug, that the United States the price of the drug in the United States for that product needs to be the same as whatever the next country, whatever country they charge the lowest to. And in my research, looking through AI, it seems to be India, and it seems to be $50 for a 5 milligram injection of Zepbound. So $200 for the month. For 2.5 milligrams, it was like $40, and they said they put it in rubles or whatever the Indian monetary system is, 7,833 of those, but in US dollars it would be $40 a week, so $160 for a month for like 2.5 milligram. I don't know how that's all going to work. I mean, I don't know what the median income is in India. It's interesting. If this does work, it would be phenomenal for people in the US. I don't understand how it's going to work with private insurance. This is for like Medicare prices. And my husband's 60. I don't know, we go on Medicare in either 3 or 5 years. It's not soon. It's not now. It's not the next several years. We're both like private pay retired insurance. So I really don't understand how that's going to affect private insurance, but it will be interesting to follow. So keep your eye on that. It's hopefully with a combination of, like, I'm losing, as you all know, from CVS Care. I have CVS Caremark, and they're not going to pay for my Zepbound. They're going to force me to go on Wegovy, which I'm not going to do after July 1st. June 30th terminates my PA, my prior authorization that I got through November, terminates June 30th. And so July 1st, it's like out of pocket, or direct Eli Lilly direct, which is what I'm thinking of doing. So it's interesting the way all of these things are unfolding, but that is one interesting thing that happened here in the US today. And it'll be interesting to see what happens with private drug companies and all of these drugs, if that's the case, and they bring it down to a more affordable level here in the US. Because I know the first week that I paid for out of pocket, because it hadn't gone through my insurance, it was $1,200 with tax for, my husband had a heart attack. And then thank goodness the following month when I went in, it had gone through insurance and they approved it. And then I got one more month that I picked up. And then it was right after that that they made the announcement, Caremark, CVS, that they're not, no more for the zero deductibles. And total, I had paid zero for 2 months. So at any rate, that's me. That's my journey. I'd love to hear your experiences with alcohol and Zepbound. I learned so much from my community out there, and what you're going through. It's fascinating to me how this affects everyone differently. But I do want to offer hope to some people. I mean, because at 58, I've been on every diet, Jenny Craig, Scarsdale, Weight Watchers, everything. Everything except for, I haven't done compounding pharmacies, and this is my first crack at weight loss drugs. But in terms of every diet, Beverly Hills diet, Sonoma diet, I don't know, you name it, I've been on it. Keto diet, Mediterranean, yada, yada, yada. Nothing's been as good as this particular product for me in terms of feeling good with inflammation and in terms of weight loss. So that's my journey, and I'd love to hear about yours. Please click like and subscribe if you want to hear from me a couple times a week on how it's going on my Zepbound journey. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining me. Bye.